All right, let's try this again. All right, here we go. So we're going to try this Crafty Gemini slicer again because last night we had bad connection and it kept locking everyone up or shutting them out or freezing or whatever. So I thought we would try it again. Just stop and try it again today where it is not as much static. And of course, every time I decide I want to scope, somebody always think that they have to be a Periscope star and jump in on the videos. So she decided she's going to join us today. She's behaving right now. So as long as she's behaving, I'll let her sit there. But the minute she starts fumbling with stuff, I'm going to have to put her down. So I hope everybody's having a great day. I am getting ready to do a Zumba class in a little bit, so I thought I would do this first. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. So we tried to do this last night, as I said, and it was a hot mess. So let's try it again today. This is the Crafty Gemini slicer, 10-inch slicer, and I had posted a picture on in the Facebook group about with some various, what kind of tablet is that? That is an iPad, the older model, not the new ones, but the older model iPad. So I have my phone facing the cutting pad so that I can hopefully just cut and slice and not have to flip the screen back and forward or try and hold it with one hand. So I'm watching it through the iPad so I can see any. Are you kidding me? It says lost connection. Ugh. Okay. Oh, Shamika, it won't? I thought all of them did that. Hey, Katie Ladybug. I thought all of them did that. Yeah, well, it's the old iPad. So we're going to go ahead and just get started. And if you don't know what the 10-inch slicer is, it is... Oh, okay. Hey, Debbie. The 10-inch slicer was created by Vanessa Vargas Wilson from Crafty Gemini, and she has a website and a YouTube channel, the same name, the Crafty Gemini, and she also has the Crafty Gemini Creates on with Missouri's Our Star Quilt Company. And she's a busy lady. She does a lot. She's getting out there. She's very fun to watch and very easy, and does things that anyone learning to sew can do. So, hey, Sandy. So this is the ruler. Last night, oh, Australia, really? Hey, Leah. So last night we tried this one. I'll show you the, and you guys want to see my little flippy notes, so I have them on each one too. So last night we looked at that one, and there's the little note that I had, the little diagram that I had to draw it. And then I'll just show you really briefly because remember we cut it up last night, so it's already done really. But you take your slicer and you can see right there it says 10-inch slicer. And let's see, get the diagram. So we flip it upside down. So the 10-inch slicer is upside down and we line it up here with the top and the bottom. I'm using the one that was already cut from last night. You use the top and the bottom, line them up, and go over as far as you want your little cut here to be. And make sure it's even. And then you just slice right here. You slice. Okay? And then that gives you this little corner piece right here. Now, while you have it laying there, and this is what I kept forgetting to do last night. While you have it laying there, go ahead and cut here. Okay? No, you can't help. Move. Cut here. And once you cut there, then you can pick it up. Okay? Flip it over and around that way so that you're reading 10-inch slicer in the correct format. And then place it down on the other edge of your 10-inch. I'm sorry, and this is a 10-inch layer cake. Okay, so and put it on the end. I lined mine up at the 2 3/4 mark. So you see there it's lined up at the 2 3/4 mark. And then you slice here at that diagonal. Okay. And then you can remove your ruler. And then you have all of your pieces. And I put 2 pieces back to back. Both of the pretty sides, or the right side, or whatever you want to call it, the side that you bought it when you were the side you were looking at when you bought it, have those face up so you can see them. All right, and then I just mix the two. So that one there, and that one there. Do you use the glue basting method before you sew? No, I have the glue basting stuff. I have just never done it. I just use a 1/4 inch seam allowance and sew them together. And there's your first block from the picture there. Oh, and these blocks are all from a picture that I posted on Facebook in the group. Yeah, I got it. Autocorrect is really hitting people bad these days. All right, so there's your first block, and so you end up getting 2 blocks because you have 2 layer cakes together. So that one, and that is the first one. There you go. So you get those 2 blocks, okay? That's how I did this one. All right, get that done. And I'm going to kind of breeze through it unless you have some questions or something, and I'll see them on the iPad and I'll answer them at that time. The second one is this one. I love this one. And the fabric, if you want to know, excuse me, sweet pea, can I have that? Thank you. The fabric that was, and the slicer were in a quilty box that Crafty Gemini curated in November, and these were the first ones to go out, but now she sells these on her site, so you can, if you will be interested in purchasing one, you can get it from her. And the fabric is Birds and the Bees from Michael Miller's, okay, by Tamara Kate. Okay. All right, for this one was a hard one to remember because I posted. You did? Awesome. Have you done anything with yours yet? I posted the picture of these about 2 weeks ago, but my son had his wisdom teeth removed and I had migraines, so it was kind of, hi Kim, welcome. It was kind of hard to get back to, so I had to refresh my memory on these. Haven't used them yet. Well, this was my first time using them. I thought it was a really cute set and I didn't want to mess it up by cutting it. So anyway, I figured, you know what? I'm just going to pull out my 10-inch slicer and I'm going to go for it. I didn't measure any of these out ahead of time. I just kind of laid the slicer down and cut. Flipped it around a bunch of different ways and cut. And that's these are what I came up with. And people were asking what I did, so I figured I would do hey, nice to see ya. Well, you know, as much as I can see ya. So I said I would do a Periscope showing how I flipped it around. Okay, so for this design, let's put that right there. This one I had to really think about, as I said. We're going to take our ruler, our slicer. Oh, let me show you the diagram. Come on, ladies, let's use it. That's the diagram for this one. I don't know if it'll help any of you, but some of you asked about seeing the little pictures. That's the first one I did. I couldn't read that one. All right, so the first thing, and remember we have 2 fabrics, pretty side up or designer side up or whatever you want to call that side. I usually think of it as pretty side up, but I don't like to say that when I Periscope because I think that's Vanessa's phrase, and I respect that she uses that, and I don't want to try to copy or infringe on that. So the first thing we're going to do with our slicer is place it upside down so that the word slicer is backwards. Right side up. Thank you. So we want this one to be where the 10-inch, the word 10-inch slicer is backwards. Okay. And then we're going to place it down at an angle on our right corner. Okay. And in my notes, I say I put this part on the 9-inch line, and then this part on the nice side up is good one too. And I put this part on the 1-inch line. So there's the 1-inch line, and here's the 9-inch line. Okay, that's the first cut. So, see if I can do this left-handed. I'm right-handed. And cut. Kitty, that's a dangerous spot because I'm doing that. Okay, that's the first cut. The second cut, we're going to take the slicer and place it reverse side. So now that's what I said, but I don't think that's what I did. Okay, yeah. So 10-inch slicer is still backwards. Okay. Now we're going, but we've had our bottom here and our top here, and we're going to lay it down flat in the right upper corner. Now here for guidance, I use the 2.5-inch line. So my corner up here is right at my 2.5-inch, and they're top to bottom so that it lines up even top to bottom. And then I'm going to slice. Now the thing about this cut and a couple of other cuts in some of these that I did is since I already cut here, I have to be very careful here not to cut into this piece, because remember this is our separate piece right here. So we want to be careful not to cut into that piece. So you want to cut from here right down to where that cut starts. All right. Thank you for the hearts. Appreciate it. So let's see. Again, I'm right-handed, but I'm trying this with my left hand. Are you getting down, Kitty? Thank you. So we're going to cut all the way to that line and try very desperately not to go over it, or at least not to go over it by a lot. If it's just a tad bit, you can catch it in the seam allowance and it'll be fine. All right, the third cut we're going to make is we're going to take, I know, move your tail. I don't want to slice your tail. Okay, so the third piece that we're going to do is take our slicer and flip it that way. So the word 10-inch slicer is not only backwards, it's upside down. Okay. And I'm going to have to move that for a second. Now we're going to place it down on that same cut line that we just made. Okay. Place it down. According to my notes, I placed it at 1 3/4. So the line we just cut, actually we want to put that on the line on here that's at 1 3/4. So that's 1 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, and line that up. There we go. All right, so that's lined up. Ouch. Somehow that doesn't seem right, but that's what I wrote. So here we go. Slicer. That's what it says, but that doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, here, let's just do this. Okay, that's what it is. All right. I said that, but I'm going to move it over here to 3/4 of an inch. Oh, yeah, there you go. So here's the 1. I was looking at it backwards. Here's the 1, and there's a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, and 3/4 inch. There we go. I know it doesn't, does it? But it's not going to make a straight line. It's going to make a diagonal cut. All right, so we're there. So we're going to cut here, and then we're going to cut here. Okay, because that's going to create that little diamond piece that's right there. See, we have this big piece here in the middle, and it's actually at an angle. I don't know if you can tell it there, but it's actually at an angle. And then here's the other side, and then it's slanted down here. This piece we don't have to cut at all, because once we cut this piece and this piece, that will automatically work itself out. It will automatically be cut. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to bring this all the way down till I touch my cut line from that. Remember this cut line down here. Sorry, I don't mean to flash my boobs, but I have Zumba class immediately after this. Thinking this is going to last maybe until I get to Zumba class. And I have to teach a Zumba toning class. And so I'm already dressed for that. So, and that's going to come right here. All right. So if I moved it to 3/4. You know, you should always follow your notes because you do the notes for a reason. The notes say I said 1 3/4. So I'm putting it back on 1 3/4 and lining it up with the cut. I should stop trying to change the notes and just read the notes and do what it tells me to do. So there's your 3/4. We're going to cut. I'm going to start down here because I know I'm going to cut into it if I don't. I have newfound respect for Vanessa and anybody else who do these videos because it's nerve-wracking and it's hard. There. Okay, so there's our cut right there. And you'll see the little slanted line there. Measure twice, cut once. I know. That's why you see all these pieces over here. Is this morning I took little extra scraps and I cut every last one of these. So I can make sure that all my directions were good. And I didn't have to waste your time or confuse you by saying, no, don't do that. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Thank you. All right. Remember, we don't have to cut this piece because it's going to be cut once we cut the bottom. So we're going to take our slicer. This time, you see the word slicer, and it's facing this way. Thank you. It's facing this way. So we're going to place it on the bottom. And on my notes, I say to make it 9, put it on 9 inches here. So let's find our 9. There's our 9. And the 9 is touching that line we just cut. Okay, so it's touching that point. There we go. And you can use your lines to line up your bottom to make sure it's all nice and even if you like. But I really wasn't precise when I did this. I only know these numbers because I had to go back and redo it so I could tell you guys what I did. Now I'm going to cut from here. Again, cutting at my point. And voila, that one is done. So here are your pieces. Here are your pieces. So we're going to take, well, let's start over here. Take that one. And switch together. Take that one, put it together, leave that one as it is, and switch that one. So there you go. That's this one. And mind you, I had to cut all these because I didn't measure when I first did them. I had to cut them all to 8.5 inches. So that's why they look much smaller. I took the 10-inch block, sewed it together, and then cut it down to 8 inches because the smallest one I had finished piece was 8 inches. So I had to cut them all down to that size. I really would have preferred to keep them bigger, but because I didn't measure ahead of time, I didn't get that nice setup. So there you go. That's that piece. Yeah. The fun part is just doing it, but the bad part is if you don't do it correctly, you end up losing some of it. So there you go. I'm going to put these back because I'm going to sew all this together and finish my quilt this week. All right. That was the hardest one for me. This one was the hardest one for me to remember how to put back. Okay. So that's that one. And if I don't get to one tonight, you see I have like a million of these somebody cut up a sheet and gave me years ago. Are you putting smashing? Am I putting sashing? You type smashing again. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you put sashing between each block? I'm kind of dead bolted on that one. I haven't made up my mind yet. This is the next one. This one is easy. Okay. I figured, yep, autocorrect has been killing us lately. All right, so you can see I have that same sheet I just did because I don't want to cut. I ran out of Miller fabric. Wait till all the squares are done. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. I have the rest of them on the design wall over there, and I pulled these down so that I could have them for the video. And but that's what I was thinking too. That's this piece. Okay. So I took the slicer. There's the word slicer. And I turned it this way and I just dropped it on there. I kind of straightened it up a little and then I just went with that. Okay. So I made sure that the corner of each part of the wide end of the slicer, which is the bottom of the slicer, was touching the edges of my layer cake. Thank you for the hearts. And then I just sliced. Okay. And make sure that the slanted side is on the bottom. Okay. Because you get a different design if it's not on the bottom. And I just cut. It's one piece, two piece, now 4 pieces with 3 cuts. So pick that up and you move. I'm so intense in watching and forget. That's okay, thank you. I'm intense too. All right, so there's that piece. And again, as you can see, when I had to cut it down, I really lost a lot of the angle at the bottom. So if you can, be really careful in how you cut so that you end up with a nice, I wanted a wide to smaller version, but it's a little hard when you have to cut it all off. But that's that one. Okay. And if you have any questions, I can see them, or comments, I can see them on the iPad. Let's put that one together. This was one of my favorites. I don't know why. And I'm afraid that once I cut these 2 pieces, it won't be my favorite anymore. I think it's my favorite because of how the fabric looked. But I love that. I thought that was so cute. Stars and hearts. Okay, so put that up there. And here's my diagram. Hi, welcome, Bread Geck. Thanks, Kim. Okay, so we layer this here. I know, isn't that fabric adorable? I'm finding out that I really like Michael Miller. I like anything by Moda. I think they make great fabric. Their designers are great. But I'm really loving Michael Miller, who I think used to be with Moda anyway. So anyway, this time I'm using those same hearts, but I don't have any more of the stars because I put them with something else over there. So I'm using this pink CDs or discs or circles, whatever you want to call that. So this one is very simple, like really super, super easy. We take our slicer where the word 10-inch slicer is backwards, and we place it down and we line it up even with the top and the bottom and the side. So we get a nice even cut there. And so remember, it's backwards. The word slicer is backwards. So we're just going to cut. We're going to follow the diagonal of the ruler and cut. There we go. Pick up our ruler without disturbing our pieces as much as possible and simply flip it over to where the word 10-inch slicer is in the correct orientation. And then lay it down on the other side. Again, line up our top and our bottom and our edge. Okay? And cut. Okay, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. So we're going to cut here. and pick up our slicer, and that one is done. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see, we're going to keep the hearts here and just show the pink. So you pick up this piece. So you've got 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and this little piece is 4. Oh, no, we're going to pick up the little piece. And there you have it. That's that one. Yeah. So that one is super easy. I think that was one of the easiest ones that had more than one cut. Okay, so let's put that together. And I'm going to load, I don't have Catch because someone else is Steph's got it on Twitter. And I'm that on almost everything I can possibly think of. So I can't use Catch, but I will put these on this video or broadcast on my YouTube channel if you need to rewatch it or recatch it after the 24 hours of Periscope. Okay, here's the next one. Oh, hold on. We got light. The sun's out. I don't mean to hope I don't moon anybody. All right. So here we go. That's our next one. Let's get a little more light now that the sun's out. Oh, that didn't help. So there's the next one. This is super simple. You just put it down one place and cut. One place and cut. Here is the diagram. Thank you for the hearts. Here it is 4:21. The time here is 4:21 p.m. All right, so what we're going to do with this one, our diagram says to just take our ruler. I lied. You're actually going to have to pick it up and move it. So we have our ruler from the front side. That's what time it is by me. Oh, really? Wow. 8:20 a.m. Tuesday. Whoa. So our 10-inch slicer, here's your word. It's the orientation is facing you correctly. We're going to place it on the edge and line the edge up with the 2-inch line. Okay, so we've got 2-inch. There we go. And this is a little smaller because I didn't cut these, somebody else did, and apparently they didn't cut it quite at 10 inches like they thought they did. So line that up at 2 inches. Oh, Red Geck, did you have bad connection? I see you just popped in again. So we're going to cut here. Remember, we're lining this up with the 2-inch line, and then we're going to cut. Oh, I'm sorry. I had really bad connection last night. That's why I was redoing it today. All right, pick up your ruler from here and simply twist it over. That's all you do. Just twist it over. Line up your straight edge with that cut you just made. There we go. Line that up and then simply cut this side. And that's it. That one was way simple. And we are going to pick up that. And that's how you get that one. I don't really like this light and dark, but like I said, I ran out of Michael Miller fabric. And that fabric is by Tamara Kate. She's the designer. There you go. Okay. I'm not big into designers. I just like what I like. I don't care who the designer is. But so I don't have a specific designer that I mostly lean toward. But I do lean toward fabric distributors. And Moda seems to be the one I always end up picking. Yeah. It seems to always be from Moda. Even when I try to go in there and just randomly grab something, it always seems to be Moda. Okay, this one I'm going to put to the side because Vanessa did this one already. I didn't see the tutorial or the video when she did this one. I just laid it down. This was all during my phase of just lay it down and cut it. And it came out with that one. And then I recognized from seeing it on the Facebook post. This is another simple one. I tried to make it simple a little harder, simple a little harder. And that's that one. And you can pretty much see the shape of the slicer. What I love about this one is down there in the corner, you get that little glimpse of the color, the outside color. It would have been bigger, but again, I had to cut it down, so I lost a lot of that corner. Let's hope today we can get some more of it. I'm going to line this up at the bottom. Okay, and here's our diagram. That one I kind of got a little chicken scratch on. There you go. All right, so we're going to take our slicer where the word 10-inch slicer is reversed. Okay, and now we're going to flip it and drop it down. Okay. Make sure your points are even with your corners. Okay, that's all you have to do for that one. Actually, I actually like this better flipped over this way. So putting your slanted line on the bottom and then laying it out. Yeah, I like that better. But you may like it better the other way. And if you do, that's okay. Flip it the other way. I mean, I'm just showing you how I did it because, you know, they asked me to. And I love showing when I can do something, or when I've learned to do something, rather. That's just the nature of who I am. Okay, so, and then you just cut all around it. So let's do that. And you might not be able to get this corner completely on the layer cake, and that's okay. Make sure this corner is on the layer cake though. Or if you want to divide it out and make it even, where it's, you know, the same amount off on both of them, that would be just as great too. If you want this little piece in the corner to be bigger, just slide your ruler up a bit, but realize when you do, this part will be smaller. Okay. Hi, Faye. Welcome. All right, so let's cut from here. And here. And try not to slide. I need to put those little sticky things on here. And then here. You're welcome. Oh, thank you for stopping by. Okay, so now we have 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to pick up this one. And there you go. That's that one. I am showing the, I posted a picture a couple of weeks ago from the, using the Crafty Gemini 10-inch slicer. And some ladies asked me about how I did some of the blocks. And so I thought it would be cool to just Periscope it, because that's easier than trying to explain things often, unless you're me. But so that's it. I'm just showing you the blocks that were in that picture and how I did them, how I oriented the ruler. So there you go. That's that one. And here is that block again. Okay. So this one was one of the easier ones. And guys, you know what I forgot? You guys didn't catch it. I just remembered. Put this back. Put that back together. Put our ruler back down. I know, I love easy. Okay, put our ruler back down. And what did we forget? We forgot one cut. our little peekaboo guy here at the bottom. There we go. So pick that up. Move that piece, and there. Now you have your little peekaboo guy at the bottom. Okay. And I'm only picking up the pieces to show one set. Remember that you'll get 2 blocks with this, because you'll have one with this being the outside and then one with this being the outside. And that's the same with all of them. If you're putting 2 pieces together so that you can have 2 of the identical blocks, but the piece is reversed, if that makes sense. I don't always make sense. Okay. And we've got only 2 more to go, ladies. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I hope this was smoother than last night's version. This is my absolute favorite. This is my favorite block. I love that. I don't know if, again, this may be like that black one. I just love the fabric so much that it forced me to love the block. And actually, you can orientate this one. Thank you. Any way you like, as with any of them. This is how I'm going to do it. But as you can see, you can twist that bad boy around and get, oh, well, wait a minute. I like that too. You can twist it around and get it any way you want it. Okay? But I think I'm going to end up with that way. There's no name to it. I just simply took the ruler, sat it down, and start cutting. I just start twisting it and flipping it all different directions and started cutting. So none of these blocks have name. If I post them on my blog, I might try to name them, but right now they're just blocks. Block 1, block 2, block 3. Okay, so this one was hard for me to remember also because it looks simple, right? Cut, 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 cut. But for the life of me, when I tried to repeat it, I couldn't. So I actually drew it on the fabric to help me remember. Are you having connection issues, Faye? So we have our piece down, our layer cakes down. We're going to take our slicer, where we can read 10-inch slicer in the correct orientation. I'm sorry. Welcome back. Now we're going to take it and flip it so that the word slicer is going, when we lay it down, it's going toward our left. Okay. So we're going to put it down here. And the way I make sure I get the same cut each time I try this is I've decided to measure it to the 8.5-inch line on the ruler here. You can see there, it's 8-inch, 8.5-inch. So I'm going to put it on the 8.5-inch. It's lined up with the edge of the fabric. Oh, I can see the iPad saying I lost connection. Are you guys still there? Is anybody still there? A show of thumbs up or heart or something so I know I'm not talking to myself. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Okay. So you line the bottom up with the corner edge, and then this part you line up at 8.5. And that will make you have the same cut every time. Nothing worse than cutting a design and getting a different shape every time. Especially when you have to sew it all together with nice little lines. Okay, that's the first cut. Pick this up. Our second cut is we're going to take our slicer, again with the front orientation, and we're just going to place the corner of the bottom right hand corner from the straight edge side, and place it here. Now we want to come over. There we go. At the top, we want to be at the 6-inch line. That's the line I gave myself to keep accurate cuts. And down here, we are lining up with this line we just cut. We're sitting right on top of it. So this is at 6 inches. This is right at about between 2 and 2.25 inch. Now, this goes back to the one a few minutes ago. You have to be careful. Ooh, you have to be careful not to cut into this. If you want to, you can move that out of the way. Okay, and then just go ahead and cut. This is at 6 inches. This is at 2.25, and cut. I have a bad habit of not doing that. I'll pick it up and then I'll start readjusting stuff. And I've nicked myself so many times. So if you see me, it's because I'm thinking, close it. I'm clumsy. All right, so there's our second cut. Let's put that back together. For our third cut, we're going to come over here. So we're going to take the slicer and we're going to flip it backwards. So that 10-inch slicer is backwards. We're going to take the top of the slicer, which by the way is 2.5 inches. And we're going to flip it, bring it down here to the bottom, right? Right. I know they are dangerous, especially with clumsy people like me. All right, so we're going to put the bottom line, the bottom edge of our layer cake here. We're going to line that up with 1 3/4 inches. Okay, so here's our 1 inch. There's 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. Did I say 3/4? Yes, 3/4. So line up the edge right there at 1 3/4. This runs. Okay, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. So there we are. So, and our 2.5 inch mark for the width of the top should come right here to that line where we made that first cut. Okay. So you have a nice little angle here. So 2.5, 1 3. Oh, come over some. Go back some. There you go. 1 3/4. All right, and cut. Again, I'm going to move this out of the way because I'm clumsy like that. I hope I'm not taking too long, guys. I thought this would be quick if I knew what I was doing this time. There you go. So there's that cut. One more cut to make. This is our last cut. Is this corner right here. So we want to take our slicer. I didn't write it down which orientation that is, but let's see. Oh, I wrote it on the note. So our orientation is the 10-inch slicer backwards. And we're going to take the top corner of the slicer on the side closest to you and place it at an angle. Now, how I lined this up was the tip of my fabric this line that we just cut right here. Okay, thank you for the hearts. So here's our 6. Here's 6 1/4. Here's 6 1/2. So the 6 1/2 mark, I wish I could bring it closer, is hitting this cut line. Okay, so that's 6 1/2. That's 6 1/4. 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/4. So the 6 1/2 hits right there in that line. Okay, and the tip goes right here. I hope that made sense. I'm not sure it did to make sense to me, nevertheless to you. I'm going to move these over just a little so I don't cut them. And then I'm going to slice right here backwards. Pray I don't cut off my arm or my thumb. Okay. And pick up. And there are your pieces. Okay. So if we put those back together, this isn't this and this. And now just pick up that one piece, and there's our little, it reminds me of a kite. So if I was going to name this block, it would be something about a kite or something with a kite. There you go. That is this block. And if you're really, I know. I'm an amateur. I'm sorry. It makes us both nervous. Oh, okay. So let's put this here. And we'll pick these up, and that's that one. One more. Here, here, and here. Okay. Actually, those are all the ones that I have on the, I had in the picture. Besides that one, which Vanessa's already done this one. A wonky tumbler. Yeah, it does kind of, doesn't it? Vanessa's already done this one, but if you don't know how to do this one, I can show you really quick. It's just a matter of laying it down and flipping it over, and that's it. It looks a lot more difficult than it is. But if you want to see that one, I can show you. If not, that's great. Fine, because she's already done that one. And that's it, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you pull out your 10-inch slicer and get to work. These are some I haven't tried yet that I'm actually going to try, and I'll let you know how those come out. As I get these little ideas in my mind, I've decided to try and draw them out really quickly because my mind is very bad. All right, if that's it, and there are no further questions, and we'll call that, we'll stick a fork in it and call her done. Thank you for stopping by, ladies. Thank you. Thank you. If you do any, post them on Facebook or Instagram or something. We'd love to see them. And if you would like, I appreciate you stopping by. Bye. Oh, no, that didn't stop. Come on. How do I get out of this thing?